Hi everybody, I'm Em. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making some chocolate cupcakes from scratch. Now you might be wondering, are chocolate cupcakes from scratch really that different from chocolate cupcakes that you'd get out of a box mix? In my opinion, I think they're worth the little bit of extra effort. So let's hop on in and make some cupcakes. To start with, we're going to take our dry ingredients. So we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We have 1 cup of cocoa powder. We have 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. And that's all going to go into this bowl and get sifted through this colander. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the flour. What you do is you set it in there and then you just tap, 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 tap. And it'll go through your sifts. So I'm going to do that step and then I'll be right back. So now we have all of those dry ingredients. They've all been sifted in, and we're going to take a whisk and we're going to just slowly whisk it all together to make sure that it's pretty evenly combined. And it's still going to be pretty dark because that cocoa powder is going to make it nice and chocolatey. Yum. So here we have what a lot of times are called our creaming ingredients. So we have 1 stick of butter and we have 2 cups of sugar, and we're going to put them into this bowl. Now this bowl goes to a stand mixer. That's going to make our job a lot easier if you have one. If you don't have one, an electric mixer with a regular bowl, a hand mixer, will work just fine. And if you don't have either of those, you can do it with a wooden spoon. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So let me dump all that in there. And then I'll meet you over at my stand mixer. So in the bowl of our stand mixer, we have that 1 stick of butter and 2 cups of sugar. And we're going to use this attachment. This is a whisk. If you have a hand mixer, you might have a whisk attachment. That's great, use it. If you don't have that, beaters will work just fine. Now, we can start this. It's going to be pretty loud. So I'm going to give you a 5-second countdown in case you want to mute your sound, but I'll flash my hand like this when you can turn it back on again. So we're going to lock it in place, and then we're going to turn on low speed and slowly pick up the speed. Right now I've got it on about a 4. I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to let it move. Now what we have here, it sort of will look a little bit like sand, like when you go to the beach. And that is just what we're looking for there. So what we have here is 4 ounces of chocolate chips. You could use a bar of chocolate. So if you had a baking bar, something like this, you could use this. This would be about the right amount too. This whole bar is 4 ounces. Or you could even use a Hershey bar or some Hershey's Kisses, but about a half a cup is 4 ounces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna microwave this at 10-second intervals. I'm gonna stir it with a spoon in between until it's nice and melty, and then I'll meet you right back here. So this is our melted chocolate. So you can see it's pretty liquidy, but it's not too hot. That's important because if you add it in when it's too hot, it can scramble your eggs, which is our next step. So we're gonna add this into the bowl of our stand mixer. And we're gonna mix it through just a couple of seconds. And because the mixer is pretty loud, I'm going to do that off camera. But I'd say I'm only going to put it onto the 2nd speed, so very low speed, and I'm only going to do it for maybe 30 seconds. Okay, so here I have 4 egg yolks. One of them broke, but it's okay. And I've set aside my egg whites. Now you can use these for a lot of different things. You can use them especially to make meringues or angel food cake, or some kinds of marshmallow frosting. So it's pretty exciting, so don't waste those egg whites. Even if your mom just wants an omelet, save it for that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these and try to drop 1 or 2 in at a time, spin the mixer, 1 or 2 more, until all 4 of these egg yolks are in this mix. And again, just so that the sound doesn't get too annoying, I'm gonna do that off camera, and I'll be right back. So here's what this looks like. Now, we are going to go ahead and add 1, 2, 3, 4 more whole eggs into this mix, mix them all through, and I will be right back to show you what that looks like. Okay, so now what we have is we have 4 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We have 2/3 of a cup of sour cream, and we have 1 cup 2 tablespoons of oil. And all of that is gonna get mixed into our mix in the stand mixer. So I'm gonna add all that in, mix it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have what looks like some pretty runny goo. And then we have our dry ingredients over here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 1 cup at a time add this dry stuff into our wet stuff. And you want to do that because if you add it all at once, it's gonna kind of explode all over your kitchen and you're gonna have a powdery, sticky mess. So I'm gonna add this into here, 1 cup at a time, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now we have some gooey batter. There's still some dry spots in there, but that's okay because we need to add 1 more ingredient, and that is 1 cup of water. Now, if you want to do this and your parents say it's okay, you can use a cup of brewed coffee in this recipe. That'll work too. But I'm just using water and I'm just gonna add it right in. Now, I thought this was pretty weird too, but it turns out that that is the secret to your cupcakes staying pretty moist. So I'm gonna mix it all up 1 more time and then I'll show you what the finished batter looks like. Okay, so here is our gooey, delicious looking batter. Now I do want to caution, don't eat it. Don't dip your finger in there and eat it for 2 reasons. The first of which a lot of people know about, which is raw eggs, which they can have a contaminant in them called salmonella, and it can make you very sick, but also raw flour. And flour needs to be cooked before you consume it too. So even if there weren't eggs in there, you still wouldn't want to eat this one. Sorry, friends. I want to do it too, but don't. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some cupcake tins, and I will be right back. So this recipe that we've been following is actually a double recipe because I am making some cupcakes for some of our Camp High Hopes friends who are graduating this year. How exciting is that? And so I am making a total of 24 cupcakes, but I only have 2 cupcake pans, so I'm gonna have to do it in 2 rounds, but that's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a cupcake liner in each of these cups. Now, there are a couple of schools of thought when it comes to filling these cupcake cups up. You can use a spoon and just sort of eyeball it. Today I'm going to use a 1/4 cup measuring cup because that is about the amount of batter that's going to be good for these. But you could also, if you have one, you can use a ice cream scoop, one of the kind that has a squeezy handle, and that lets the batter get scraped out, and that does make it a little bit easier. I don't know that I'm going to be able to film and fill the cups, but we'll give it a go. We'll see if I can do it. Here's my batter. Here's my cups. So there is some of that gooey batter. And into the cup it goes. Now I know that that's not quite the whole 1/4 of a cup, but these are gonna rise up. So that little bit that's stuck is okay. Yum, 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 yum. I'm actually doing pretty okay at this one-handed cupcake scooping. What do you guys think? I think it's okay. I'm probably making the camera shake all over. So it might be like a 3D visual, not 3D, what's that called? Oh, I don't know. Like VR. If anybody's watching this on a VR headset, let me know if it feels like you're riding a roller coaster of cupcake making. But while we've been making these, I've had my oven preheating up to 350 degrees, which is what these are gonna bake at. And as soon as we're done, we can go ahead and pop them in the oven and then set the timer. Ooh, these look good. All right. So I'm gonna go pop these in and I'll meet you over at my oven. Okay, so here we are at my oven and it looks very shiny, but we're gonna go ahead and set the timer for 18 minutes. And these should take about that long. When they're done, we're gonna go ahead and test them for doneness by sticking a toothpick in them. If the toothpick does not come out clean, you wanna put them back in for another 3 minutes at a time. But Let's take a little peek. I think these are going to be good. I will go ahead and put a picture of my done cupcakes, possibly decorated, at the end of this video. So, until next time, bye guys.